Welcome to this empowering session where today we'll reveal the untapped potential you've been waiting to activate. Through powerful strategies and a winning mindset, you'll gain the clarity and confidence needed to achieve your most ambitious goals. This isn't just motivation, it's your path to success. Let's begin the journey. Every moment you experience, every connection you form, and every decision you make is rooted in the energy you choose to bring into your life. When someone walks into your world, they are stepping into a space you have created. A space filled with your love, your care, and your willingness to build something meaningful. But not everyone who enters your life understands the significance of what they've been given. They take for granted the kindness and devotion that you pour into them, never realizing the impact of their indifference until it's far too late. There's a truth that often goes unnoticed by those who don't appreciate what they have. The energy you bring into their life is irreplaceable. It's not something that can be easily found or duplicated. Yet some people treat it as if it's expendable, as if your presence in their life is just another part of the routine. They fail to recognize the extraordinary care and effort that goes into being there for someone, showing up for them when they need it most, even when it's inconvenient or emotionally draining for you. When you've invested so much of yourself into someone, it's not uncommon to expect that they'll meet you halfway. But instead, you find yourself giving more and more, while they take more and more, until you're left wondering if they ever truly valued what you offered. And it's in those quiet moments of reflection that you realize something important. Your energy is not unlimited, and it's not meant to be wasted on someone who doesn't see its worth. People often fail to understand that the way they treat you is a direct reflection of what they feel they deserve. When someone repeatedly takes you for granted, it's not because you aren't valuable. It's because they lack the capacity to recognize your value. They're too caught up in their own insecurities, distractions, or selfish desires to acknowledge the gift that your presence brings to their life. Secondly, they see your kindness as something guaranteed, your forgiveness as something automatic, and your love as something permanent. But nothing is guaranteed. Not your time, not your patience, and certainly not your love. Every moment you spend giving to someone who doesn't appreciate it is a moment taken away from yourself. And when you reach that breaking point, when you realize that continuing to give to someone who refuses to reciprocate is harming you more than helping them, it's a powerful awakening. Walking away isn't easy, especially when you've poured your heart into someone. But it's not about giving up. It's about choosing yourself. It's about understanding that you are deserving of a love that doesn't require you to beg for recognition. It's about reclaiming your energy and redirecting it toward a path that aligns with your worth. And when you make that choice, something incredible happens. The person who took you for granted begins to feel the absence of your energy. It's as if a light they had grown accustomed to suddenly went out, leaving them in the dark. They start to notice the void where your care and attention used to be, and it's only then that they begin to understand what they've lost. Regret seeps in like a tide, slow and steady, until it's all they can think about. They replay every moment in their mind, wondering why they didn't appreciate you when they had the chance. But by the time they realize it, you're no longer waiting. You've moved forward stronger and more confident in your own worth. You've recognized that their inability to see your value was never about you, it was about them. And instead of holding on to resentment or anger, you've chosen to let go, knowing that you deserve so much more than someone who couldn't rise to meet you at your level. When you let go of someone who didn't value you, you send a powerful message, not just to them but to yourself and to the universe. You're saying, I know what I'm worth and I won't settle for less. That energy is transformative. It opens doors you never even knew were there, leading you toward people and opportunities that align with your highest potential. The absence of your presence will always be felt by those who took you for granted. They may try to reach out to rekindle what was lost, but what they don't understand is that once you've stepped into your power, there's no going back. You've grown beyond the need for their validation. You've realized that your value doesn't come from how others see you, it comes. The pain of walking away is temporary, but the peace that comes from honoring your worth is eternal. The love you were giving to someone who couldn't appreciate it is now available for you to give to yourself. And in doing so, you create a life that reflects your true value. A life filled with joy, abundance, and the kind of love that doesn't require you to sacrifice your self-respect. They didn't see it, they didn't appreciate it, and now they feel the loss of what they didn't cherish. But you've stepped into the light of your own worth, and that is where your power lies. Opportunities come and go, but they are never infinite. Each moment we are given to connect, to understand, and to build something meaningful with another person is precious. Yet there are those who fail to see the beauty of what's right in front of them. They take for granted the effort, love, and loyalty being offered, assuming that there will always be another chance, another opportunity to make things right. But what they don't realize is that some chances are final. Once lost, they cannot be reclaimed, and the regret that follows is often unbearable. When someone stands before you offering their heart and soul, it's a rare gift. It's not just about time or attention, it's about energy, the kind of energy that can uplift and transform your life if you let it. But too often people become complacent. They assume that love, patience, and devotion are endless resources. They fail to appreciate the sacrifices being made for them and instead focus on their own distractions, desires, and temporary comforts. That's the mistake so many make. They don't understand that every word spoken, every gesture made, and every chance given is a bridge toward something deeper. When they ignore those bridges, they begin to burn them. One by one, they leave behind ashes of what could have been, a love that could have grown, a connection that could have strengthened. And when the last bridge burns, when the final chance is gone, there's no turning back. You've probably been in a situation where you've given your all to someone. You've shown them through actions, not just words, that you care. You've stayed up late to listen to their fears, gone out of your way to make their day better, and given them your unwavering support. But no matter what you did, they failed to see your worth. Instead of meeting your efforts with gratitude, they met them with indifference or selfishness. And with every moment they took you for granted, they edged closer to losing something they would one day regret. It's not about being dramatic, it's about understanding that love is a two-way street. You can only give so much before you realize that your energy is being wasted on someone who doesn't value it. The saddest part? Many people don't realize the depth of what they've lost until it's too late. The final chance comes quietly, without warning, and once it's passed, it leaves behind an emptiness that no amount of regret can fill. When someone doesn't recognize your value, it's not a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their blindness. People often fail to see the importance of what they have because they are distracted by what they think they want. They chase temporary highs, fleeting pleasures, and meaningless distractions, all while ignoring the rare gift that's been right in front of them. They forget that love, patience, and understanding are not things to be found just anywhere. They are treasures that must be cherished and protected. When you finally decide to walk away, it's not an act of revenge or bitterness. It's an act of self-respect. You've given enough, and now it's time to give that energy back to yourself. It's not easy to let go of someone you cared deeply for, but sometimes it's the only way to reclaim your power. Walking away is not about punishing the other person, It's about choosing yourself over their inability to see your worth. The moment you walk away, something shifts. The energy they once took for granted is no longer there. The attention, love, and support they assumed would always be present suddenly disappear. And that absence is felt. It's only then, in the silence of your departure, that they begin to understand what they've lost. But by the time they realize it, you've already grown. You've moved forward, and you've stepped into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more self-assured. People don't wake up to their mistakes until they are forced to face the consequences of their actions. The absence of your presence, your love, and your energy is often the wake-up call they never saw coming. They replay moments in their mind, wondering how they let it slip through their fingers. They realize that the patience and forgiveness they took for granted are not things they can find easily elsewhere. But regret doesn't change the past, and once that final chance is gone, it's gone forever. The truth is, some people aren't ready to meet you at your level. They don't know how to handle someone who gives with their whole heart. They see your kindness and misinterpret it as weakness. They believe they'll always have time to make things right, but time waits for no one. It keeps moving, and so do you. When you let go of someone who couldn't value you, you open the door to something greater. The universe has a way of aligning with those who honor themselves. Walking away isn't just a physical act. It's an energetic shift. You're telling the world, I deserve better, and the world responds by bringing you what you truly deserve. Regret is a powerful emotion, but it belongs to those who fail to see what's in front of them. It belongs to the people who don't recognize the final chance when it's given. It's not your burden to carry. It's theirs. While they dwell in the what-ifs, you're out there creating a life that reflects your true worth. Because in the end, the one who couldn't see your value never deserved you in the first place. There comes a moment in life when you realize that staying in a situation that no longer values you is costing you more than you ever imagined. It's not just about the time spent or the emotions invested. It's about the energy you pour into someone who refuses to meet you halfway. It's about the quiet nights spent wondering why you weren't enough for them to choose you wholeheartedly. It's about the countless chances you gave, hoping they would finally understand the depth of your love and commitment. And yet, they didn't. Walking away isn't a sign of weakness. It's an act of profound strength. It's a declaration that your worth is not tied to someone else's inability to see it. You're not leaving because you stopped caring. You're leaving because you care about yourself enough to let go of what's holding you back. It's not an easy decision, but it's the one that changes everything. When you walk away, you reclaim your power. You take back the energy you once gave freely to someone who didn't value it. For so long you may have stayed, convincing yourself that if you tried a little harder, loved a little more, or waited a little longer, things would change. But the truth is, no amount of effort on your part can make someone appreciate what they refuse to see. No matter how much love you give, it will never be enough for someone who isn't ready to receive it. Do you do anything to convince your clients that they deserve better? Walking away isn't about proving a point or seeking revenge. It's about understanding that you deserve better. It's about breaking free from the cycle of giving too much to someone who gives too little in return. It's about realizing that love isn't meant to drain you, it's meant to uplift and empower you. Staying in a space where your value is overlooked only dims your light and chips away at your confidence. The moment you walk away, a shift begins to happen. At first, it might feel like a loss. You might question if you made the right choice, or fear that you'll regret letting go. But with time, you start to feel lighter. The weight of trying to make things work with someone who didn't meet you halfway begins to lift, and you start to rediscover parts of yourself you had forgotten. Walking away allows you to rebuild the connection with yourself that may have been lost. You begin to pour the love and energy you once gave to someone else back into your own life. You realize that your worth isn't defined by how someone else treated you, but by the way you choose to treat yourself moving forward. It's a powerful moment when you see that you don't need anyone else to validate your value, because you've found it within. When you walk away, the person you left behind will feel the absence of your presence. They'll notice the void where your love, care, and support once lived. The things they took for granted will suddenly become glaringly obvious. But by the time they realize it, you've already moved on. You've already started to build a life that reflects your true worth. It's not about teaching them a lesson or hoping they'll come back. It's about stepping into the next chapter of your life with strength and clarity. It's about creating space for something better, whether that's a healthier relationship, new opportunities, or simply peace within yourself. Walking away isn't the end. It's the beginning of something greater. You reclaim your voice when you choose to leave what no longer serves you. You stop allowing someone else's behavior to dictate your happiness. You take control of your narrative and start writing a story that aligns with your worth and desires. Walking away isn't easy, especially when your heart is still tied to the hope of what could have been. But sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that lead to the greatest growth. When you walk away, you're not just letting go of the other person, you're letting go of the need to prove your worth to someone who couldn't see it. You're releasing the expectations and disappointments that kept you trapped in a cycle of giving without receiving. You're choosing yourself in a way that you may have never done before, and that choice is life-changing. People often don't realize the power of walking away until they've done it. It's not just about leaving a relationship or situation. It's about reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your happiness. It's about standing in your truth and recognizing that you don't need to stay in a place where you are not celebrated. Walking away is a statement of self-love. It's a reminder that you are worthy of a life that feels good, not one that constantly drains you. It's an act of courage, a declaration that your happiness matters. And as you take that step away from what no longer serves you, you step closer to the life and love you truly deserve. There comes a time when you realize that the way someone treats you isn't a reflection of who you are, but of what they are capable of giving. You start to understand that self-worth is not up for negotiation, compromise, or debate. It isn't defined by another person's perception of you, nor is it shaped by their ability or inability to see your value. Instead, it is something that resides deeply within you, unshaken by external circumstances or relationships. You might have found yourself in situations where you gave everything you had, believing that if you just loved harder, tried more, or remained patient, they would finally see how much you mattered. But each time, you ended up questioning if it was ever enough. You put their needs above your own, hoping they would notice the sacrifices you made. You stayed silent when you should have spoken up, afraid that standing firm in your boundaries might push them away. You allowed their inconsistencies to dictate the rhythm of your emotions, and in doing so, you began to lose sight of yourself. But self-worth is not something that can be earned through someone else's approval. It cannot be measured by their ability to recognize what you bring to the table. When you tie your sense of value to how someone treats you, you place your happiness in their hands, making it vulnerable to their choices, moods, and actions. This is where the cycle of self-doubt begins. You have to break free from the belief that you need to be more for someone to treat you right. The truth is, someone who truly values you will not need to be convinced of your worth. They will not take your love, care, and presence for granted because they understand how rare and irreplaceable it is. They won't leave you wondering where you stand or make you question your significance in their life. Instead, They will make sure their actions match their words, meeting you with the same energy you give so effortlessly. The moment you realize this is the moment you begin to reclaim your power. You start to recognize that your self-worth is non-negotiable, and you refuse to allow anyone to make you feel less than you are. You understand that walking away from someone who doesn't see your value isn't a loss. It's a gain. It's a step toward honoring yourself in a way you never have before. Walking away is not an act of weakness, it is a profound display of strength. It's a declaration that you will no longer settle for less than what you deserve, even if it means letting go of someone you care about. It's about choosing yourself in a world that often tells you to prioritize everyone else. And while it may feel painful in the moment, it's the kind of pain that heals, that transforms, and that opens the door to something better. As you walk away, the energy you once poured into someone who couldn't appreciate it begins to flow back into your own life. You rediscover your passions, your confidence, and your sense of peace. You start to see yourself through your own eyes rather than through the distorted lens of someone who couldn't value you. You begin to build a life that reflects your worth, a life that feels aligned. The person who didn't see your value will eventually feel the void of your absence. They will realize that the things they took for granted were not guaranteed. Your kindness, your support, your love, those were gifts, not obligations. And while they may come to regret their actions, you won't be waiting for that moment. By then you will have moved forward, stronger, and more certain of who you are and what you deserve. Letting go of someone who didn't appreciate you is not just about ending a relationship. It's about ending the patterns that kept you tied to anything less than your worth. It's about releasing the need for validation from those who couldn't give it and finding that validation within yourself. It's about stepping into your power and understanding that your value is not contingent on anyone else's ability to see it. Take a moment together. Self-worth is a decision you make every day. It's choosing to honor your needs, respect your boundaries, and protect your peace. It's refusing to shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. It's standing tall in the face of rejection, knowing that rejection is often redirection towards something greater. When you embrace your self-worth, you stop settling for relationships, situations, or circumstances that don't align with your highest good. You understand that love should never come at the cost of your self-respect. You learn that walking away from what doesn't serve you is not the end, but the beginning of a journey toward the love, respect, and happiness you deserve. Give it a try. The road to embracing your self-worth may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. Every step you take away from what diminishes you is a step toward a life that uplifts and fulfills you. And as you continue to honor yourself, you'll find that the right people, opportunities, and experiences will naturally flow into your life, meeting you at the level of love and respect you've chosen for yourself. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every belief you hold sends a ripple through the fabric of existence. You may not always see the effects immediately, but they are there, shaping the reality around you. The energy you radiate is constantly creating, drawing experiences, people, and opportunities into your life that match your inner world. You are not just living in the universe, you are actively co-creating with it, moment by moment, whether you realize it or not. It all begins with your energy, your mindset, your emotions, your beliefs. When you wake up feeling grateful, confident, and aligned with the life you desire, the universe responds to that energy. It mirrors back to you circumstances that align with your vibration. Opportunities seem to flow effortlessly. People treat you with kindness and respect. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. It's not a coincidence. It's the natural outcome of the energy you're putting out into the world. But the same principle applies when you dwell in fear, doubt, or negativity. When your thoughts are clouded with worry, when you feel stuck or unworthy, the universe reflects that back to you as well. You encounter obstacles, misunderstandings, and mischances. It's as if the universe is saying, this is the energy you're choosing, so here's more of it. It's not a punishment, it's simply a reflection of the vibration you're sending out. Your energy acts as a magnet, pulling toward you what resonates with it. When you feel confident, joyful, and abundant, you attract situations that amplify those feelings. When you feel insecure, anxious, or overwhelmed, you attract experiences that reinforce those emotions. It's a cycle that can either empower you or hold you back, depending on what you choose to focus on. Changing your energy starts with awareness. You have to become conscious of the thoughts and emotions you're entertaining. Are they aligned with the life you want to create? Are they rooted in love, hope, and faith? Or are they steeped in fear, scarcity, and doubt? This isn't about ignoring negative feelings or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging those emotions and then choosing to shift your focus towards something better. The universe isn't asking you to be perfect. It doesn't demand that you suppress your struggles or deny your pain. What it responds to is your intention and your effort to rise above those challenges. Even in your darkest moments, if you can find a glimmer of hope, a reason to believe in something better, you set a new energy in motion. You create space for miracles, for unexpected blessings, for the kind of transformation that begins with a single thought. When you choose to focus on what you want instead of what you fear, you change the energy you emit. If you desire love, start by cultivating love within yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. Forgive yourself for past mistakes, and focus on the qualities you want in a relationship. When you radiate self-love and confidence, the universe will reflect that energy back to you. If you want success, embody the energy of someone who is already successful. Visualize your goals, take inspired action, and trust that the path will unfold before you. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts. Your energy is a combination of your thoughts, emotions, and actions. If your actions contradict your intentions, the energy you send out becomes mixed, and the universe can't deliver what you're asking for. You have to align every part of yourself with the reality you wish to create. This alignment is what gives your energy its power and clarity. There will be times when it feels like nothing is happening, like the universe isn't responding to your efforts. But even in those moments, the energy you're putting out is working behind the scenes. The seeds you plant today will bloom tomorrow, as long as you continue to nurture them. Trust the process. Trust that the universe is always working in your favor, even when it doesn't seem obvious. I said it before Monday, I say it again. These words of affirmation, bring you more Monday, more fulfillment, more fruit in life, even when it doesn't seem obvious. When you start to see yourself as a co-creator, you realize how much power you truly have. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not a passive participant in your own life. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, every emotion you allow shapes the energy you send out, and that energy determines the reality you experience. You hold the power to shift your energy at any moment. It doesn't matter where you are in life or how many challenges you've faced. The universe doesn't judge you for your past. It only responds to the energy you choose right now. So choose wisely. Choose thoughts that empower you, feelings that uplift you, and actions that move you closer to your dreams. When you align your energy with the life you desire, the universe has no choice but to respond. It begins to open doors, rearrange circumstances, and bring people into your life who are meant to help you on your journey. It's not magic, it's the natural law of energy and attraction. You are a powerful creator, capable of manifesting a life that reflects your highest potential. All it takes is the courage to believe in that power and the willingness to align with it every single day. Regret is a heavy emotion, one that lingers in the mind like a shadow and echoes in the heart long after the opportunity is gone. It doesn't come all at once, it creeps in slowly, starting with a fleeting thought, a quiet moment of reflection, or an unexpected memory of what could have been. It is only when the final chance is lost that regret settles in fully, and the weight of that loss becomes undeniable. In life, opportunities often appear disguised as choices we take for granted. A meaningful relationship, a chance to say the words that were left unspoken, or the time to make things right. All of these moments may seem endless until they're not. It's easy to believe there will always be another chance, another conversation, another tomorrow. But the truth is, life doesn't guarantee us unlimited opportunities. What we fail to nurture today may be gone tomorrow, leaving only the sting of what could have been. When someone pours their heart and soul into a connection, giving their love, time, and effort selflessly, they often hope that their actions will be seen and appreciated. They offer understanding in moments of conflict, patience when things feel uncertain, and kindness even when it's not reciprocated. But there comes a point when even the most giving heart reaches its limit. It's not about a lack of love, but about self-respect and the realization that staying in a one-sided situation only leads to more pain. That final chance, the one that could have turned everything around, comes and goes in the blink of an eye. The person who takes that love for granted rarely sees the end coming. They assume the love will always be there, waiting patiently no matter how many times it's overlooked or taken advantage of. They believe they can always fix things later, that there will always be time to make amends. But time is not infinite, and neither is someone's willingness to wait for their worth to be recognized. When that final chance is lost, the realization strikes like a tidal wave. Swift, unrelenting, and deeply painful. Regret is often born out of hindsight. It comes with the clarity that arrives too late, when the damage has already been done. The missed calls that were never returned, the apologies that were never spoken, the moments of affection that were ignored. All of these things replay in the mind, each one a reminder of how things could have been different. The person who once stayed through the hardest moments is now gone, taking with them the love and care that were once so readily available. The emptiness left behind is not just about the absence of that person, but about the loss of what they represented. They were the one who stood by when others didn't, the one who believed in potential even when mistakes were made, the one who loved unconditionally. Losing them isn't just losing a relationship, it's losing the chance to be better, to grow, and to create something meaningful. And by some means, we have all lost someone today. For those who walk away, the decision is rarely easy. It takes strength to leave behind someone they once saw a future with. It requires courage to choose themselves after giving so much to someone who didn't see their value. They don't leave because they stop caring, they leave because they can no longer accept less than they deserve. And while they may grieve the loss, they also find peace in knowing they chose their own happiness and self-worth. For the one left behind, regret becomes a constant companion. It whispers in quiet moments, reminding them of the love they let slip away. They replay memories of laughter, of shared dreams, of a connection that felt unshakable at the time. They wonder what could have been if they had only realized sooner, if they had only taken that final chance to make things right. But by the time regret sets in, it's often too late to undo the damage. Regret teaches a powerful lesson, one that echoes long after the final chance is lost. It forces a person to confront their choices, to see where they fell short, and to understand the consequences of their actions or inactions. While it's a painful teacher, it also holds the potential for growth. It's a reminder that love, respect, and connection should never be taken lightly, that every moment is an opportunity to show appreciation, to give back, and to make the people who matter feel valued. Life is fragile, and the people we hold dear are not guaranteed to stay forever. Every interaction, every word, every gesture has the power to strengthen or weaken a connection. Taking someone for granted is a risk that comes with consequences, and once the final chance has passed, all that's left is the memory of what could have been. Regret is a burden no one wishes to carry, but it's one that can only be avoided by recognizing the value of those who care while they are still there.